cup of coffee sounds really good right now, but I already had 2 this morning. I'm going to be bouncing off the walls like crazy if I have a third cup at 3 in the afternoon. It ain't happening. Welcome back to a new book review video. Man, it has been a minute since I recorded a video. I took a long break thanks to the amount of videos I had stacked up, but today I finally felt like recording a video, and so we are going to be talking about the book Legends and Lattes. The summary for this book says, after a lifetime of bounties and bloodshed, V is hanging up her sword for the last time. The battle-weary orc aims to start fresh, opening the first ever coffee shop in the city of Thun. But rivals, old and new, stand in the way of success, not to mention the fact that no one has the faintest idea what coffee actually is. If Viv wants to put the blade behind her and make her plans a reality, she won't be able to go at it alone. But the true reward of uncharted path are the travelers you meet along the way, and whether done together by ancient magic, a flaky pastry, or a freshly brewed cup, they may become partners, family, and something deeper than she ever could have dreamed. This is a very cute story, but there will be spoilers for this book, so if you don't want this book spoiled for you, you can go ahead and leave now. But for now, let's get into the characters. The characters in this consist of Viv the orc and retired assassin, Tandri, a succubus who doesn't want that life, Cal, their kind of fixer-upper, and their cook, a rat skin. I like the characters in this. They come together naturally after Viv finds a place to make her cafe, and each one is a good player in the team to make this cafe happen. The rat skin you have is the cook and the baker, which admittedly is a little weird that they're letting a rat cook, but it's a fantasy thing, who cares? And then Viv and Tandri quickly become friends, and there's also a dire cat that comes around named Avery. That cat comes and goes as she pleases and kind of serves as the guardian for the cafe. And then there's also their musician, something with a P. I'm not good with names, so forgive me, but he comes in and performs for the cafe to help out, and because he likes to perform and doesn't feel he could do it otherwise. I love these characters. They were very teamwork heavy, very supportive of each other. They had ideas and they bounced off each other. It's just a good character dynamic. Now let's get into all the other stuff. Now this book is just so adorable. I read this sort of slowly because, like I said a while ago, I've been in a huge reading slump, and I think that's because how much I've actually been reading since I went hardcore on my channel, and I just haven't had a break from reading. So this took me a while, even as short as the book was. So you have Viv, who is a retired assassin, because she is absolutely tired of that life. She does not like having to cause people pain and being a killer. She wants to settle down and start a little cafe after one day discovering coffee for herself at a little elf cafe, because apparently elves are more advanced in their technology, so they have better equipment than most taverns and other stuff, because this is set in medieval times. So she, after her good experience with coffee, wanted to spread that around and bring joy into the world as opposed to pain. So she sets about getting a special stone that's said to bring good fortune to those who find it. And then she uses the stone to find the ideal place to set up shop and start her cafe. She posts job wanted signs, which is where she gets her team together, the rat skin, the little cat Avery, the Cal, the builder, and Deirdre, the succubus, and they come together and just start building the cafe. And it takes a little bit for Viv to kind of get over the fact that she was this assassin. It takes a while for her to let her guard down and put her sword away. But as she does, she slowly starts to see the cafe become more and more successful and starts to settle into life as a mundane worker, just peacefully trying to run her coffee shop. But just as she feels like she could finally settle down and get away from life as an assassin, one of her old teammates that she used to go on quests with shows up and threatens her tea shop and coffee shop. So she feels like she was foolish in putting away her sword and feels like she should pick it up again, but Tangerine tells her that might not be a good idea because once you pick it up again, who knows if you'll be able to put it back down, and I can tell that you didn't like that life of an assassin, so don't do this to yourself. There are other ways to deal with this man coming after you. So she does. She listens to Tangerine, lets it go, and tries to keep moving. And she starts to get more and more customers as people discover what coffee is. And then on top of that, their chef, the Ratskin, is adding more and more stuff to their recipes so they have baked goods to eat with the coffee. So it slowly starts to build, and their menu slowly and naturally grows from going to normal coffee to lattes to iced coffee to all these different desserts, and more customers are coming in as they discover the joys of a good cup of coffee. And it's just a really wholesome, really good time. The characters come in naturally. There's threats introduced where you're like, how is she gonna handle this? Is she gonna go back into that life of being an assassin when we all can tell she wants nothing to do with that reality anymore? But is it necessary in order to protect this thing that she has built, this thing that she is passionate about? And on top of that, there's another little situation with like debt collectors or the local gang, if you will. But she very quickly makes a deal with them where she gives them discounted pastries or free pastries, and it's all good. And actually the Madrigal is kind of a sweet lady who just kind of lets her off the hook for a bunch of sweets. But it's nice to see that she's getting out of this life and trying to redeem herself and become a better person while doing something that she's passionate about and that she loves. And this story is a really good, like, read it in the fall kind of cozy story. It'll have you smiling and it'll have you cozy and wanting a cup of coffee yourself, because I would read this in the afternoon and then sit there and go, a cup of coffee sounds really good right now, but I already had 2 this morning. I'm gonna be bouncing off the walls like crazy if I have a third cup at 3 in the afternoon. It ain't happening, but it sounds really good thanks to this book. Like, it's just one that you can, like, get cozy with, grab you a cup of coffee, grab you a cup of tea, a nice cozy blanket, and just read it and enjoy it, and you will find yourself smiling all the way through it. And there is not very much to say without spoiling this book because it is really short, but oh my goodness, it is a sweet read, and it's just a relaxing read and a good read to sit down and have coffee. So I think next I am finally going to go into Fate, the Winx Saga, which is a book that's based off a live action show that was originally a cartoon show turned into a live action show. I've never read a book in this scenario before. Like, I grew up with the Winx Club, and I was super excited when the show Fate was coming out, because I'm like, oh my goodness, a live action show that continues the Winx Club for people my age, for the people that grew up with it and are now adults. But it was a disaster. I don't know what they were thinking. And then I eventually tried to watch it like it wasn't Winx Club, and it didn't help. But this is a book novelization of the show, so I'm going to see how that goes. So I hope to see you next time, and I hope you guys enjoyed.